At this point in our marriage, everything looked fine. On the outside, we had settled into what our church would probably call the perfect marriage. He made all the decisions. I submitted to his authority. He wanted to move for the sake of his career. So we moved. He kept all of his equipment after the bankruptcy. And I finally landed another dream job. From the outside, it looked like peace. But inside me, something had gone very, very quiet. I started noticing something strange when we were around other people. When someone asked my opinion or tried to include me in a conversation, I froze. My heart would race. My mind would go blank. Sometimes I could barely get words out. It felt like a panic attack, just from being asked what I thought. And I didn't understand why. It made me shake myself and ask, what is happening to me right now? It made me remember this one night we were visiting his family. Everyone was sharing what they wanted for dinner. Opinions were flying around the room. And when it was my turn, my husband answered for me. They all sort of paused. And someone looked directly at me and said, "Well, is that actually what you want?" I looked at all of them and I couldn't find my words. I just said, "I'm fine with whatever, I don't really care." And I remember the looks on their faces. Not angry, not confused, just disappointed. Looking back now, I think they knew. I think they were hoping I'd speak up, that I would assert myself, that I'd say something. But at the time, I didn't feel controlled. I felt cared for. I thought it was fine that I didn't have to decide anything on my own. And he had me convinced that his family was always trying to start trouble with him, so this was an opportunity for me to support him in a way. After the move and everything with the other woman, I wasn't enjoying his company anymore. I was navigating him. I tried to avoid deep conversations because they always ended the same way. No matter what I said, he disagreed. He questioned it. He twisted it. Until my opinion somehow became wrong, stupid, or weird. So I stopped talking. I stopped feeling. Because it seemed like he would keep talking until he found something that pushed my buttons or rubbed me the wrong way on purpose. I actually told myself once when he was talking to me, just stop thinking, don't respond. And now I know. That was me protecting myself. Protecting myself from being made to feel like I was crazy. Protecting myself from getting into a never-ending conversation that was out of my control unless I agreed with whatever bizarre thing he wanted me to believe. He noticed how quiet I was around him. But he also noticed something else. I was more alive back home whenever I was around my family. He asked me why. And I told him the truth, without even realizing how dangerous it was. I said, maybe I'm just more comfortable around them. He did not like that at all. He wanted to see me just as lively and outspoken when I was with him, and when we were out together, and people wanted to talk to us. I wanted that too. I didn't like feeling afraid to say the wrong thing. The perfect time to work on getting back to myself was on my work trip that weekend. When he called to pick me up from the airport, he heard me laughing, talking, relaxed, alive. He said he was happy to hear me like that, until he saw who I was with. 2 male co-workers. And instantly, his entire mood changed. Although there had been a larger group of us, we just happened to walk out together. But he yelled at me to walk away from them so they wouldn't hear him talking through the phone. But they knew he was coming to pick me up and wanted to come out and say hello. As my coworkers approached the car, I felt it happen. I shrank. I went quiet. They noticed. They looked at me differently. He said hello, and we all noticed that I was different than I was when he first called to pick me up. And on the way home, he demanded answers. Not only was I more comfortable with my family than I was with him, but why was I able to laugh and have fun with other men and not him? He asked.
Were you like that in your previous relationships? Reserved and quiet?
And I answered honestly, no. He told me that by the time I got home from work the next day, he wanted an answer. Why didn't I love him? I told him I do love you. Why was I more comfortable with other people? Why didn't he feel loved by me? I spent that entire day terrified. What was I supposed to say? Deep in my heart, I knew there was something odd at play in this relationship, but I didn't know what it was. I prayed all day. I rehearsed my words, because I knew this moment would be dissected. I said carefully that with my previous relationship, there wasn't constant arguing, that he didn't call me names, and that I felt safe. That's when he exploded.
I knew it. You just said that you love him more than you love me.
I said no, that's not what I said. He screamed that I was a liar, over and over again, saying,
I knew it. You're a liar. Yes, you did say you loved him more than you love me.
I couldn't calm him down. He continued to yell over and over again, I can't believe this, I knew you didn't love me. And something terrifying happened. I started questioning myself. Did I? Did I say that? He repeated it so forcefully, so confidently, that even though I knew what I'd rehearsed, I began to doubt my own memory. He stormed out. I was so confused and mentally exhausted, I didn't care that he was gone. I was just happy to get some rest. It seemed I was always so tired. By the time I got up for work, he was there in bed. But when I came home, he was storming out the door without a word. This went on for days. When he finally spoke to me, he told me it was my fault, that I drove him into the arms of another woman, that he needed comfort because I broke him, and I believed him. I was learning something devastating. Forgiveness doesn't mean acceptance, and love doesn't mean self-erasure. But I hadn't learned that just yet. I stayed. Now I had to prove my love to him. Trying harder. Doing more. I didn't realize that I was being trained to take responsibility for his behavior. And that's when I believe he knew he had me exactly where he wanted me. To hear more of my story, please subscribe for the next video. Like and share with someone you care about. Let me know in the comments where you are in your journey to empath empowered.